Hi everyone, Taylor here today. A really late match reaction, been quite a few night shifts, so I've basically been trying to find a good time to record this because I try to get these up at around, well, ideally 5 o'clock, but it's usually later than that now. But yeah, Queen's Park, first game of the season, it was 1-0. It was disappointing to say the least, but there was good signs as well. I mean, we looked pretty good going up the pitch, but we couldn't really, there wasn't a lot of quality at the end of the day. So it seemed like you could make a lot of chances, but you couldn't really score them, which has kind of been the story of for the past couple months now, which isn't the best. With Queen's Park, you're kind of expecting to be a team that's a bit more on the offensive. They're quite defensively minded, and they basically stuck 11 players behind the ball for most of the game. But yeah, I guess the most important things that you want to be looking at in this game are the goals. So I'll just jump into those just now. So starting us off, it was Michael Roofe that scored for Queen's Park in the 10th minute with a penalty. I do not think this is a penalty at all. It seems like you've got two players on the edge of the box. Ball goes to, I don't know the player that it went to for Queen's Park. It was going to him. And a Raith player actually steps away from him, from what I can see, and he falls over. It's not a penalty, but the penalty's given. 100% not a penalty. I think it's a really bad decision. It's no, just a bad decision. I know a lot of people kind of go into this is why VAR should be a thing. I don't think VAR should be a thing in the Championship. I like a league without VAR. I don't like having to wait before basically every goal to celebrate the goal. But yeah, that one's definitely a bit like a, oh, it's not a good advert for Scottish football, with that refereeing decision. But they happen, and some will go in our favour, some will go in their favour. And they score the penalty in the 10th minute, and things aren't looking great because Queen's Park scored in about I think it was like the 15th minute the last time they came to Starks Park, and they beat us 4-0. So I was hoping that we weren't going to see a repeat of that. Luckily we didn't. We really seemed to keep going, keep attacking, and it did take until the 80th minute, and we get a penalty. It's a handball, and I don't know if this is a handball. And the reason why I'm saying it, the ball does clearly hit his arm, but it doesn't. To me, I don't know if that's a deliberate handball or not. I don't know if that's him naturally just putting his arm out like that as a natural reaction, or if that's a thing where he's specifically trying to stop the ball with the arm. I don't know if he's trying to block it with his chest and moving his arm and the ball moves in the wrong direction, or the wrong direction for what he was anticipating. I don't know. So it's two sort of dodgy penalty decisions that draw the game. But ideally we should be winning this one by 3 goals at least. I'd say with the amount of chances that we had, we hit the post. So many of the headers go over the bar. It was pretty rough. I was hoping to see Jack Hamilton starting. I was hoping to see maybe Aidan Gavin be given a game between the sticks. It didn't happen. That makes sense, I suppose, because Josh Ray's your main goalkeeper, though he's not been the best recently. But yeah, it's an interesting start to the season, I guess. A disappointing one for me because I feel like there's all that anticipation before the start of a game, and you're really excited, especially in the first game of the season. Anything can happen, and it seems like you kind of get more of the same. And of course, you're probably going to get more of the same. We played our last cup game 2 weeks ago, but we won 5-1 2 weeks ago, and we drew 1-1 here. So yeah, it's a tough one, and I feel like a little bit kind of disappointed because of that. It was a bit. I was hoping for a bit more in terms of goals. I couldn't fault the team in terms of being able to keep the ball at the pitch and continue going at them. It's just you're kind of expecting more in the finishing department. I'm hoping that Jack Hamilton gets a start in Ayr next week. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one. I don't really know how to feel at the moment. I don't know why Sean Burns actually been left out of the squad. It's one of those things I'm not really getting here. I don't know if it's the case that he's not just showing what he needs to show on the training ground or anything like that, but Sean Burns, one of the best midfielders in the Championship. He needs to be starting, in my opinion. And when he starts, it change games. Last week's a great example. But yeah, I'm not a football manager. There you go. It's quite it's quite interesting. Oh, by the way, that Rangers cooperation agreement had passed by about 80% to 20. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, good for Rafe, I suppose. I mean, ultimately, I was perplexed. I didn't know where to go. I voted in terms of my principles. I want Rafe to be as self-sustainable as they can be, even though I know it is a really good opportunity. So I voted no personally, but I'm not going to go and freak out about it. Yeah, there were some people in Pie and Bovril that were not happy with this decision. I voted no because of a self-sustainability kind of thing, rather than other people would say, that you support the other Old Firm team or you like the other Old Firm team more. I know there was a comment that said something like that on the original video. That wasn't my intention personally. My intention was just I wanted the club to be as self-sustainable as they could be, but ultimately, comment made a great point of like you kind of have to put your pride down and sort of see it for the opportunity that it is, and I'm kind of seeing it for the opportunity that it is, and it's a great opportunity to get some young players in. I guess I don't know where to go from here. I'm hoping that agreement does help us beef out the squad a bit more, because I am genuinely scared about injuries this year, because last year they absolutely crippled us, and Jack Hamilton's a great example of that. I'm just hoping that that doesn't happen as intensely this year, because having a striker out for the whole season was rough. Jack Hamilton scored one of, in my opinion, our best goals this year in a competitive game at least. That Josh Mullen goal in the Alloa friendly is probably the best goal that we've seen this year in my opinion. But in a competitive game, that goal against St Johnstone, even though we didn't win the game, was a great goal from Hamilton. I'm hoping that he gets more opportunities to start in the team. Yeah, I've not really got much to talk about. Queen's Park did play pretty well in terms of, they played really good defensively. And it was, if you're a Queen's Park fan, I suppose it's definitely an improvement from your last game of the season, which was us beating you 5-1, which is really weird. I don't know if we've ever played a team that we played in the last game of the season, which I've never seen happen before. I know it's switched where we're at home, they're away, but I've never actually seen that before. I don't think I could have said my more incoherent thought as incoherently as that. What I meant was I don't think I've ever seen the Rovers play the team that they played on the last game of the season for the first game of the upcoming next season. We're going, and our first game's on the West Coast again, because we played Airdrie last year, so we're playing Ayr this year. So interesting kind of parallels, I guess. But yeah, on the bright side, it's an improvement, because last year we lost our first game, and then then Ian Murray got sacked. So yeah, no, it is Ian Murray. No, it's not. I'm forgetting the first names now. But yeah, he was sacked after his first game, so luckily that didn't happen. I know there's a rumour at the moment going around on Pie and Bovril that Barry Robson's been sacked or he's left. I don't think that's happened, but yeah. But still, I was like, it's actually possible. When it first came out, I was like, oh no, it might actually be over, but I don't think it is, if I'm thinking about it rationally. But yeah, so far, I've not really got much to say, to be honest. I was gutted to not be at the game, but I'm happy to be at the game next week. So yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.